Welcome to Contra Costa Confidential, the podcast that takes you behind the gates and into the hearts of the Contra Costa Country Club community. I'm JD McCormick, owner of Pan Coast Pizza, member of the Contra Costa Country Club since 2016, and a member of the board.
And I'm Brett Thomas, another Contra Costa member here since 2023. Also an entrepreneur, own a baseball facility down in San Ramon. And whether you're talking about golf mastery, sharing the lore of our historic course, or sitting down at the chef's table, we're here to give you an insider's look at the lifestyle and the legends that make this club home. It's officially here, episode 1 today, JD. I am so excited. We have two incredible guests, Richy Adams, our president, and Derick Mara, our golf course superintendent. But, you know, the listeners are clamoring. They want to know, how's the knee, man?
The knee's good, dude. It's rehab. I was able to actually go out as part of my rehab assignment and caddy for some guys here at the club, which was a blast. It turns out I'm an okay caddy. Cleaning the clubs, cleaning the balls, making sure that their lies are improved, that their pitch marks are fixed. Dan O'Malley, I did you proud, making sure that I fixed mine plus one more on the green. But yeah, no, it's going really well, and I'm back out on the course in full force. How you living?
As one of those golfers, I will say you were phenomenal. I credit everything I made in that round to you. But you did get back on the course last weekend. You and I both played in the Players' Cup down at Pebble Beach, and you wound up victorious, did you not?
We did. We had a great showing by the Contra Costa team that showed up. Myself, Jeff Lyman, Freed Harrison. We did a great job. Freed carried us. He was the MVP at Spyglass. He drained at least a 50-foot putt, ended up on Instagram. We may have filmed something with our celebrity Trey Wingo that may have gone viral and hit about 65,000 views on Twitter the last I saw, and several hundreds of thousands of followers, that have followed. But it's been an interesting week. It was the stuff that dreams are made out of, and it was just so fun to see so many Contra Costa people out at Pebble Beach, and not only Pebble Beach but Spyglass and Spanish Bay, and just having a great time. And the tournament was a huge success for everybody.
It was my first time at the event, and it was unbelievable. And I couldn't help but thinking how, if we had more guys there from our club, I mean, we only had like 4 or 5 of us, and, almost like a field trip. I think, we'll spread the word next year to make sure that people know, because it's just so fun to, it's like a road trip, it's like, yeah, this is our home course and we're playing at home, but like there's something about being on the road and you're in the hotel rooms and you're drinking. It was honestly felt like a member guest on the road. At obviously Pebble Beach doesn't hurt, but I thought it was awesome. It ended up on your birthday weekend, so it was cool. But let's recruit some more guys next year, and let's have Contra Costa take over that thing next year.
I love that, because I love field trips, I love traveling, and I love going playing new golf courses with friends. And that's part of the mystique of joining a club, is you make those friends and you bring them along and you guys put together these trips. So we'd love to hear from our listeners what trips you guys like to do, what courses you like to visit, where you want to go, and we'll put together that list, and hopefully maybe we can start to curate some of that.
Well, this episode is going to be exciting. We're going to lead in here with Richy Adams, our club president, and he's talking about all the things that is coming this year under his watch. It's pretty cool to see.
It is, and I'm really stoked to hear Derick talk about the Greenskeeper's Revenge. I think that's going to be a really fun event for everybody that signs up for it. Apparently, we're going to relax the dress code, and you can wear your favorite sports jersey. So it'll be interesting to see who brings out the Dick Butkus jersey, who breaks out a Marshall Falk, who breaks out maybe a Drew Bledsoe. Who knows?
There's definitely going to be some interesting throwback jerseys for sure. I see Richy is here now, so let's bring him on.
Awesome. I'm so excited to welcome our first guest on the Contra Costa Confidential podcast, our new president, Richy Adams. Richy, you've been at the club for a little while. Tell us about how you and Rita came to Contra Costa Country Club.
Thanks, JD. It's great to be here, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to talk to our membership, and thanks for having me. So we actually moved out here from my job in 2017, and the first thing I did before we bought a house was we started looking for golf courses. And I went to several. I went to Diablo, I went to Round Hill, I went to Crow Canyon, and then I went to Oakmont, which was only about 2.5 miles from my house. And I have a real bad phobia. So we went out to look at the course. We're on the first tee. We had a glass of wine in our hand, and there's a big sign at the first tee. It says, "Beware rattlesnakes and wild boars." And I told my wife, I said, get in the cart right now. And she goes, "Why?" I go, "Get in the cart, look at the sign." She goes, "Oh my God, rattlesnakes." And I got in the cart, turned around, went into the pro shop, handed him the keys to the cart, said, "Thanks, but no thanks." He said, "Why?" And I said, I hate snakes. He said, "Well, unfortunately, they come down from Mount Diablo, and there's a lot of snakes here." So I that ruled that out, even though it was, like I said, 2.5 miles. And then I had a friend at work who told me about this club. I didn't know where it was. He gave me the address, came up here, and instantly fell in love driving up. And I got to play 2 rounds with John Waltz and his wife, Nan, and then Don Stanner and his wife, Elizabeth, who was the president at the time. And that was it. I said to my wife, "We're joining this club." And it's been the best thing, I think, since we've been out here, the best thing we've done. I've made so many new friends, and this is my second home. I'm here a lot, and I don't think of any other place I'd rather be than here. So that's how I got here, JD, and it's been a wonderful trip. And it's going to continue.
Well, we're excited to have you as president, and even more excited hearing that backstory. But you've been here a little bit. Obviously, we just celebrated 100 years this year. Talk to us a little bit about the history of the club that you've learned in your time here. Obviously, especially with just the biggest celebration this year being the century.
Thanks, Brett. Great question. So Contra Costa Country Club was founded in 1925. Calvin Coolidge was actually the president, the 30th president of the United States. And there was a gentleman named W.A. Rugg. He was the owner of the Contra Costa Gazette. And he and a few of his friends were looking for some land to develop a golf course. They wanted to play a real golf course. So he got some money together. They got some loans. And a lot of the members were from the C&H Sugar Company, and they jointly started the first 9 holes. And they hired an architect. His name was Arthur McCann, and he did several courses in the Pacific Northwest. And it was originally going to be 18 holes, but ended up being 9 because it was cost prohibited. So they built the first 9 holes, and the next 9 didn't get built until, actually, I should say, built in 1949 and actually opened in 1950. It was on July 4th, 1950. The second 9 opened where it became a 18-hole golf course. And then the first clubhouse was built in 1959. And that's when they started having a full membership. And the original dues was $1.50 a month. So if you can imagine that, what it is now, $1,198 a month. It was $1.50 a month back then. And they got about 125 members to start, and then it evolved from there. And then in 1996, we built this clubhouse. This is the clubhouse we're in now, 1996. So, and as the club starts evolving and gaining more ground, and we hired Robert Trent Jones in 2013 to redesign the course. I started here in 2017, so I never got to see the original course. So in 2015, the course reopened under the guise of Robert Trent Jones' new layout. And then in 2016, we hired Troon to manage. So that was pre-Richy Adams. I wasn't here yet, but it's been a wonderful redesign. The holes are spectacular. They mesh with the terrain. It's just a wonderful course to play. Everybody thinks it's short and it's going to be easy, but it's not. The greens are as hard as any I've ever played. And it's just a wonderful golf course for people of all different calibers. It's just a joy to play. It's great to be up here, and I love the place. So that's kind of the history. I know there's a lot more in between, but that's just the skinny in a minute or two.
I love it. It's great to have people with such passion and carriers of the history of the club. I wonder what they did about a clubhouse before the first clubhouse in 1950. I've heard some wild stories about trailers and things that are out there. But Richy, as we look forward into 2026, maybe share a little bit about your vision for the club this year and where your areas of focus are going to be as we go forward.
Thanks, JD. So obviously, a lot of people say we're a golf course more than a country club, but I disagree with that. We have every amenity that every country club has, with the exception of tennis courts. So the one thing we really are concentrating on here is service. We have a great outside staff. We hired a new outside manager, John Bevan. He's wonderful. He's doing a really incredible job training some of the younger associates. They're just doing a great job cleaning clubs, making sure the carts are clean and have towels in them, and anything you need, they're there for. So they're just doing a wonderful job. I've noticed, and a lot of people have noticed, the difference in the service. It's really been upgraded. So that was one. The other was the food. We hired a new chef, Fabian Cispades. He's wonderful. He came from Diablo. He's got a just incredible background, does a lot of really wonderful things like buying a full fish like a halibut and butchering it, and then putting it on the menu and serving it as a special. It's just so incredible to have somebody of that caliber, a real chef who really knows what he's doing. On top of that, Derick Mara, wonderful golf course superintendent. So Derick's from Boston like me. He started at the Vineyard Club, which is an ultra-high private course on Martha's Vineyard, and it was all organic. So no pesticides, nothing unless it was natural. And he kind of honed his skills there, and obviously ended up at Mayakama out here and then here, and he's just doing a great job. Never seen the greens like this. They're rolling at anywhere between 10.5 and 11.5. So I tell people, before Derick, the speeds were much slower. Now they run at tournament speeds every day. So it's not the DVC, it's not the member, it's just everyday golf, and they run just absolutely like silk. So really proud of that. So those are the focuses. And the other focus is obviously the amenities. We're going to work, we're going to renovate the grill room, bathrooms right up top here. That's the first construction project. And then we're going to go into the locker rooms, and we're going to make the locker rooms really nice. We're going to do a major refresh in there. And once we finish the locker rooms, we have some other projects around the outside, some beautification projects that we're working on, and hopefully we're going to have all of that completed by the end of this year. And then next year we will work on the bar. So, and that'll be up to you, JD, as a new board member. So I'm going to rely on you to get that done. And so that's kind of my vision. I want people to come up here. I want them to always want to come here and never leave. That's what I want. I want this to be their second home. I want them to love coming here and hate leaving. So that's my vision.
That's incredible. Just that statement alone right there fires me up, because, I don't want to leave. So make it even better. I love it. It's interesting because, the president is only in office for a year. So talk about the challenges of, trying to get all that done in 1 year, and the guys that you're leaning on, your fellow board members, and obviously, Ryan and his staff.
Sure, that's a great question, Brett. So Ryan and his staff are doing an incredible job. They're supportive. Ryan's the guy who goes out and gets all the contractors for us. So he gets all the bids. He rounds all that up. It's a big job on top of managing the club. You're doing a great job there, and working with some of our suppliers through Troon. So maybe you guys don't know, one of the benefits of Troon is the buying power. So Troon buys for hundreds and hundreds of clubs, so they get better prices than we could on our own. So when we buy hypothetically, we buy a new mower, instead of spending $65,000, it might cost us $50,000. So through Troon, Ryan's been able to get some really good prices on a lot of different things for us, including construction. So we've been hedging that and using him to do that. And then on top of that, the board, as president, we have board liaisons assigned. So we have John Soller and Nancy Manoli and the facilities team, including myself. And we support that committee. And that's the committee that starts all these projects and gets them going. So it goes from the committee to the board, and then to Ryan, and we put it into action. So it's almost a 3-step process, and it takes time. As you guys know, it takes time to get contractors and get everything here. And the biggest obstacle we've had is permitting. So permitting is really hard, not just here in Pleasant Hill, but in every other city around Contra Costa County. Our contractor we hired, he said, Rich, it's not just Pleasant Hill, it's everywhere. So once we get the permits, we're good, and we go just full speed ahead. So I'm really happy about that, Brett. we just work cohesively. It's a great team. There's no weak links. The board is so supportive. It's just an incredible board. And we have a guy named Pete Schumann who used to work for Contra Costa County Water and Sewer, and he's got this incredible knowledge of all these things that we've been doing out in the range that has helped us. And on top of that, John Waltz, I can't say enough about John. He's been just guiding the range project and getting us to where we need to be. And he's done a lot of work. And mind you guys, all this work is not paid. It's all volunteer. And they're doing it on their own time. So I just want to thank everybody that's been doing this for us and getting all this stuff done.
So Richy, tell us a little bit about the project that excites you the most as you look forward to this year. I know we've talked about the bathrooms, future things like the bar. What gets your gears going?
So obviously the range, JD, we just finished the paving. So there's 4 phases. When we got the original permit, there was 1 phase, and we had to break it up into 4 phases because that's what the city wanted. So we are just about finished with the largest phase, which was phase 3. And once that's completed, we go to phase 4, which is really just getting the learning center here, which will happen in the end of February, and then landscaping. So and then obviously the 2 bunkers that we're going to put out by the practice facility, the chipping area, we're going to have 2 bunkers there. That's the last thing they let us do. So it's all predicated on what's in the permit. It's not that we don't want to put those first. We can't. They wouldn't let us. So we're going to do it when they tell us, so we don't get in any trouble with the city. And once that learning center's in, we're just about complete. So that's the biggest thing. And then the second biggest is the locker room. I think people, my business I was in, first impressions are lasting impressions. It's nice, but it's very industrial, and it's 38 years old. It needs a refresh. It's past its time. We're not going to gut it out. We're going to do new carpeting, new painting, paint the lockers, new tile, counters, showers, things like that, touch points. And I hope it's going to also encourage people to use the locker room more. I think it will. So I think every great golf course needs a really nice locker room and nice facilities. And then the next big thing, obviously, is the bar. So we really need a bar. That's not a bar in there. It's almost like a bar back, but we really need a bar. And I think, again, that's going to happen next year. So really excited. I think once we do that, there's not a club anywhere better than ours.
I think one thing that the members might not understand the value of is you remodeling the bathrooms up here. Talk a little bit about that project and then how that's going to benefit the club.
So we have a lot of outside events in the ballroom. We have also member events, mostly member events. A lot of comments we get are, the bathrooms. It was a great event, wonderful venue. The bathrooms are a little not up to snuff. So, and then also members complaining about the bathrooms being, really not up to snuff. And they're right, they're not. So that's kind of like something everybody uses, right? Almost everybody uses those bathrooms. So, and we call that like in the industry, that's a high touch point. So we want to get those high touch points looking really good, really functional. And when somebody goes in, whether it's a bathroom, a boardroom, a locker room, they say, wow, this is really nice. So that's kind of a reflection on the whole club when you go into those areas and they say, wow, this is really nice. I bet the food's great. I bet the place is clean. I'm proud to come up here. So we hired a designer there in Benicia, and we decided to do that because we wanted professionals. We're not professionals, and we hired professionals, and they did the design for us. They picked out all the tiles, with us, and all the utilities. And then we're doing some value engineering right now because there's some other products out there very similar, but like at half cost. So we've been doing the value engineering along with the contractor and get some of those prices down. And we're going to get that bathroom done first. And like I said, from there, we're going to use the same finishes in the locker room so it's consistent. You don't want to go into the bathroom and it be orange and the locker room be gray. Everything needs to be kind of copacetic. It needs to mesh. So that's what we're going to do. And it's going to be really, really a wonderful product when it's done.
I love it. I'm excited. It gets me really excited about investing back into the club and setting us up for success as we go forward into the future. Talking about the golf course a little bit, tell us about your best round you've ever had here. What was your score? What was memorable about it? Who did you play with?
So my best round here is 68, and I had 8 birdies, and I had a couple of others. All right, but the score would have been much lower. I was with Sala, John Sala, with Collins. I think it was Cliff Fitterer. He's no longer a member here, but I birdied the last hole for 68. In my club in Boston, I had 268s and 269s. So that was my lowest round. I had 11 one-putts that day, which is really, I'm a really, really good putter, but 11 one-putts was a little better than really good. So obviously it's almost like a one-off. Yeah, so that's my best round here. And I have 9 hole-in-ones. I had 7 before I came to California, and I had my first one at MPCC on the shore course on hole number 3 with Scott Hazlett and James Vanderbeek. And then a month later, I had one on 14. And it's funny because 2 months prior to that, my wife had her first one. On hole number 5, I happened to be walking up hole number 4, so I saw it go in the hole. But the caveat is she got a hole in one before I did in California. But that's okay. It was awesome. But yeah, that was I guess my best shot up here was hole number 14. Yeah, that hole in one.
Okay, really important question to you. Okay. Do the Patriots have a chance to win this game?
Obviously, Brett, that's a loaded question. Of course they have a chance. So 7 Super Bowls soon to be, 6 now, 7 coming up. But, while we're on that subject, a travesty, Bill Belichick didn't get into the first ballot Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick has 333 career wins, second to Don Shula's 346. He also has the most playoff wins in the history of any coach and the most Super Bowls. He actually has 8. A lot of people don't know he has 8 Super Bowls. He has 6 with the Patriots and 2 as the defensive coordinator with the Giants. So anyway, they're going to win it for Bill. But yeah, they're going to win. I think they just have a great defense. I think Derick Mara is going to really this is going to be his coming out game where he just really excels like he's been doing all year. He's on an MVP year, but I think they're going to win. So I've been a Patriot fan for a lot of years, and I was at the Snow Bowl with my wife when they beat the Raiders with Vinatieri's 41-yard field goal, which just so you know, I couldn't see because I was in the nosebleeds. We were up in section 301, which is way up in the corner, and we couldn't see maybe 50 feet in front of us, let alone the field. But exciting to be a Pats fan again. Yeah, we're going to do it.
That's awesome. Random question, but some fun questions we want to start asking people. I'm going to ask you a 2-part question. Who has the best playlist that you play with on the course, and who has the worst playlist that you play with on the course?
Peter Cross has the best playlist. It's extremely eclectic. It's classical, it's disco, it's rock, you name it. The worst playlist is Gary Wilkerson. I don't know what kind of music he is, but it's like this chanting music. And I caddied for him in the club championship, and it was awesome to caddy and watch Gary. I mean, one of the most gifted golfers I've ever seen, but his music, Gary, do something better.
I've played with him, and it's like you're checking into the W Hotel.
Or an insane asylum, either one or the other.
Synonymous.
What would you say is your favorite hole out here?
My favorite hole. I know a lot of people are going to say it's crazy, but I love hole 7. And the reason I love hole 7 is it depends where the pin is. So it's the number 1 handicap. But if the pin's up front, it's probably the number 5 handicap. If the pin's in the back, it's the number 1 handicap because it's just so hard. The entryway into the green is so narrow. If you miss left or right, you're in trouble. So, I like it because it plays different all the time. If it's downwind, it's easier. If it's into the wind, it's almost impossible. So there's so many variations of the hole. It just plays different every day. So that's why I like 7. And I like 7 because you don't have to be a super long hitter, but if you hit it straight, you're going to play that hole well. And it also sometimes levels out those long knockers who hit it left and right. So like Dan O'Malley all the time.
I love it. I like to call that corner of 6, 7, 8, oh shit corner, because that's where your round's either made or lost.
It really is. That can make or break you. 6, 7, 8 are 3 of the toughest holes you're ever going to play. Especially 6 when it's back. and 7, I'm sorry, 8 when it's just over the bunker. It's almost impossible to get there.
All right, Richy, final question before we wrap today. It's a very important question. This will tell us a lot about you as a person. But is a hot dog a meal or is it a snack?
I don't eat hot dogs, JD, so I don't know.
Person can eat hot dogs.
Um,
All American patriot? Come on.
I don't eat hot dogs, but I think for some people, like maybe you and me, it would be a snack. But maybe the Dominic Sirica would be a whole meal. He weighs about 110 pounds.
He does. He does.
So I guess it would, you know, I don't know. I guess it was probably a snack.
Richy, we're super excited to have you as president this year and loved hearing all the things you have going on for us. I just want to thank you for coming on the show and looking forward to seeing you around the course.
Thanks, Brett. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys. This is awesome, and good luck. You guys are doing a great job, and I love having you guys up here as members. You just add such another wonderful dimension of younger folks up here who bring a lot to the table. So future board member Brett, future possible president over there, JD. So again, thanks guys for having me, and keep doing what you're doing. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As mentioned, we've got some exciting guests coming on the show today. We're super excited to have golf course superintendent Derick Mara here joining us. Derick, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Derick, awesome. Thanks for making the time to sit with us today. The course looks in great shape. Tell us about this greenskeeper's revenge that we're seeing in the pro shop.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I haven't done one to the full extent of this before, but I did do one with just hard pins at Vineyard Golf Club in my last season there, which kind of sparked my desire to bring this to a course one day once I became the head superintendent. These are the hot trend right now on social media. We see them all over the place, and I think this would be a really great way to bring a new energy to a tournament here at Contra Costa.
Also a good way for you to take revenge on all these people that complain a little bit about the course.
There's always going to be something, but lately things have been really good. And overall, this membership is extremely supportive of everything we do. And I greatly appreciate that.
Derick, what can we expect in this event? What makes this unique?
Well, without giving too much away, because some of it needs to be an aspect of surprise. We're going to have props out on the course. We're going to have pins in places that you surely have never seen them before and probably will never see them again. We're going to have different rules for certain holes. There's not going to be just straight gimmicks. And the whole theme of the event being the day before the Super Bowl is going to be football and tailgate themed. So we'll be leaning a little bit into that. We'll have some unique props for the tee markers. We are encouraging everyone to wear their favorite sports team jersey, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL. Let's have some fun with it. Relax the golf code rules or the golf dress code rules, and let's have some fun out there on the course.
Who you got winning the Super Bowl?
Well, that's pretty easy since I'm a diehard Patriots fan. That the Pats will be winning Super Bowl number 7 for the franchise.
JD will be surrounded by 3 Patriots fans today, by the way.
Probably poor decisions earlier made in life, but it's okay. There's much worse fans in the world, like Seahawks fans, the worst. Convenience over commitment. I will say that all the Pats fans I know are committed to their team and they're committed to their franchise. I feel like the Seahawks are a little bit more about convenience and in the moment.
I could not agree with you more on that topic. I'm going to go back to Derick here, though. Derick, relatively new here. I kind of just want your thoughts from a superintendent's view of just our golf course in general. We love this course. Think it's an incredible layout. Think it's challenging, and just kind of want your kind of more of an expertise on our course.
Yeah, we got a beautiful property. We got some beautiful views of Mount Diablo in the backdrop, especially as the native grasses and the hillsides are starting to come to bloom this time of year. You're really starting to see different viewpoints that when I started in July, we couldn't even see those. For example, when I'm standing on 12 green looking back across the driving range, that was a vista I never really noticed when everything was dormant in the summertime, as well as the backdrops behind number 6, or should I say to the left of 6. You don't really notice those when everything is dormant. When everything is in bloom, the native surroundings really show their true beauty.
So, Derick, one of the things I've been really impressed with is your breadth of knowledge and your willingness to share and disseminate that information. How can we follow you? I hear you have a blog. Where can we find that information?
Yeah, we recently launched a blog on the website. It's right on the homepage. We're trying to post on that 1 to 2 times a week. This kind of gives the membership an opportunity to see behind the scenes of what makes Contra Costa so beautiful, give you some insights on our staff and some of their talents, any accomplishments or achievements that the staff might make, as well as just different announcements of certain things we're doing on the golf course, kind of let you know the who, what, where, how, and whys of what we're doing out there to just get a little look behind the curtain. We start this time of year at 5:30, and peak summer when tee times move up to 7, we're starting at 5. So a lot of what we do is behind the scenes, and that's done intentionally. But I think there's a lot that goes into what we do. I'm very proud of what we do. Our staff is very proud of what we do. I think this kind of allows members to see the golf course through a different light, and what we do is unique. And I think there's a lot of cool things that people would appreciate and really take notice the amount of work that goes into presenting the course in the way that we do.
I love it. I think, the more information you give, the less questions. I think people don't always understand what goes into that. And as much as I love you guys wanting to kind of do the work behind the scenes and not really need credit per se, it's cool to get the information out there for everybody. Derick, thanks so much for coming on. Been awesome chatting with you and learning. We're excited to follow along with your blog on the website. Reminder to everybody, check the website for that blog so you can get your insights. And thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hoping to see everyone out there for the Superintendent's Revenge. Come in with an open mind, a smile. We're here for some hit and giggles and have a good time. We'll leave the seriousness at the door that day.
Wow. What a great conversation with Derick. How fortunate are we to have Derick leading our agronomy team and have him as our head golf superintendent. I love the insight. I love what he's doing with the course. The club is in such good hands with Richy and Derick at the helm. It's so fun to see this course always changing. The new trees that are out on the front 9, we're doing a lot of work. It's really exciting to see where their vision is and how it aligns with the values of the club. There's a lot of good things coming up in the next coming weeks. We've talked about the Greenskeeper's Revenge. Don't forget about Chicken and Bingo. It was sold out last month. Make sure that you get in advance because that sells out fast. It's one of the best events that the club does on a monthly basis. It's the best way to go meet your fellow members and build that camaraderie. Bocce League is starting up in the spring. That's a great social environment as well. We're really looking forward to going out and talking some trash with people and seeing who's better at throwing the bocce ball, Brett or myself. I got my money on Brett just as a former baseball player, but myself, I was state champion of California bowling. So that's got to count for something when I was 12 years old. That might be a later podcast topic that we might have to discuss. Make sure that you are subscribing to Derick's newsletter. You can find that on the website. It's a great way for Derick to get his blog out there and get information about what Derick is working on as far as what's coming up with the golf course. And don't forget to subscribe and like to this and check out all future episodes that are coming up. We're going to be recording again real soon with some new guests. And in the future, we're going to be giving away some stuff. Potentially, we're talking about having one of us that's wearing a white hat caddy for you during a future round. We'll make sure that that's going to be fun. And some other things. Who knows? Maybe it's a free beverage at the bar. Maybe it's a free cup of chili. Maybe it's a wrestling match with Brett on the first tee. We'll see. We'll see where this world goes. But thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys out on the course.
That's a wrap for this episode of Contra Costa Confidential. We hope you enjoyed the look at the stories and the strategy behind our club life. Until next time, we'll see you on the links, or we'll see you in the clubhouse.
Be sure to stay connected with us. You can find full episodes on YouTube and follow our Instagram feed for excerpts and highlights. And as always, keep an eye on The Weekly Approach for the latest news from the pro shop and beyond. And remember, what happens at Contra Costa definitely does not stay at Contra Costa.